Hello, everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. And today, guys, we are going to be doing a free agency watch stream. We're getting some more updates surrounding Juan Soto. In fact, Ross Atkins recently spoke out about not just him, but the offseason as a whole. A lot of quotations going on there. We just got an article from Ken Rosenthal discussing the latest updates regarding Juan Soto and others. And on top of all of that, this offseason, it's not just about Juan Soto. There are some other free agents out there who are pretty damn good at baseball. Some guys are even getting signed by other teams. We're going to take a moment here and look at those teams, what they're doing, because obviously we focus in a lot about the Toronto Blue Jays, but you know what? We don't want to be ignorant here. We want to look around the league. We want to see what's up.
No, absolutely. Guys, this is our first live watch-along since, when was the last time we did one for the offseason? Because I think we did a couple after Ohtani, like when some stuff broke for the Jays, but this feels like the first one of this, it is the first one of this offseason.
Yes, yeah, it is. Like, legit watch-along. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to follow along with some of the news, because we are now entering into that point roughly... Actually, pretty much exactly a week out from, winter meetings.
Right.
Where it's like now the rumor mill is really starting to cook,
Yeah, and, we've been doing a lot, as you guys know on this channel, we have a lot of our live streams in the morning now, and, the last time we had a live stream at night, covering this shit, other than watching the baseball games, it's been a long time. So,
I miss it, man. I miss it.
So we got some scotch going on here, everybody, and I was just saying, too, when we first were doing this podcast, we also had our 9-to-5 jobs, and then we'd come back late, and we're like, dude, we're so tired, let's get a beer and do the stream. Yeah. And now that this is our 9-to-5, it's where are the beers? Where's the scotch?
It feels irresponsible to whip it out at a noon stream.
No, exactly. Then it's just degeneracy,
Yeah, but you know what? 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, that feels a bit more reasonable. So welcome in, everybody, to the 173 legends who are in this chat right now. We appreciate every single one of you guys. If you haven't already done so, hit that like, smash the subscribe button. And if you do have a question for us to answer live on this show, then we got the mailbag in the description. We're going to be answering. Usually we only do 3 to 5. I think we're going to do probably a couple more than that this evening. So if you got a question and you want it answered tonight, submit it into that mailbag, and you might have a chance. You want to start off with some of the stuff that Ross Atkins had to say today? Yeah,
let's start with that. Let's ease our way into it. Let's get to the main event here of our leader, our savior, Ross Atkins. He's going to lead us past all the crap and the shit that we experienced last year. He's going to get us out of this, everybody. We know it for sure. He had wasn't too sure exactly what this was, but it was an article released through Ben Nicholson-Smith, and Ben came out with a bunch of quotes, and we also got another guy, Ben Turner. Shout out to Ben Turner on Twitter. He took some quotes from this article of a lot of Ross Atkins, of what he had to say. But the first things first, when asked about Juan Soto, this is what our Lord and Savior had to say.
Also, by the way, guys, this is the first time that I'm seeing any of this, so you're literally getting the full, uncensored reaction.
Yeah, I've read through this very briefly, haven't had a real time to digest. Thank you to whoever just subscribed right there. But we'll talk about it together. We got all night, everybody. Shout out to everybody in here. Ben Nicholson-Smith asked about Soto. Blue Jays GM Ross Atkins declined to comment, of course, specifically, citing respect for Soto and agent Scott Boras. I'm pretty sure that's the exact same thing he said about Ohtani last year, which was funny. Quote is here, "The interest is obviously there from all 30 teams." That's the quote, everybody, that Ross Atkins made about Juan Soto. First of all, dodges the question and then says something that's completely not true. You really think the Athletics are going to be in on Juan Soto?
I love what Jimmy Ballcap Sports right there says. Yeah, literally. A's a mystery team confirmed. Yeah, obviously, loosely, every team is interested in Juan Soto, on a surface level. I'm sure the Oakland Athletics would... Actually, they're not even the Oakland Athletics anymore.
They're just the Athletics.
The Athletics would probably love to have him because Juan Soto is, in fact, very athletic. All that being said, though, there ain't no way that would ever happen. And you could probably say that for, roughly 15 to 20 other teams in the MLB as well. So, yeah, this is just the most standard Ross Atkins, glaze over everything type of response that you can have.
Avoid the question.
It really does feel like, you ask ChatGPT to generate a generic and vague response.
Oh, I bet ChatGPT would do way better.
It
Way better.
probably would.
It would actually give you a response.
This would be like the most basic version of ChatGPT,
Yeah.
you know, like the one that wasn't released to the public,
The one
like
that-
the beta version
the one
from
where you
5 years ago.
The one where you type in like, please dumb it down,
Yeah.
it down, you know?
Yeah,
Then it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
the
exactly.
interest is there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
But-
you know,
but-
so like
yeah, so-
clearly I get it. It's like, what do we expect for him to say? It's like, you know, Ross Atkins has never been that type of guy like a Scott Boras where he'll come out and just like put all his cards on the table and,
Mm-hmm.
and reveal like we are going all in. So like this is kind of what I anticipated. And also I do think like with these Juan Soto sweepstakes, because everything is so close to the chest, like you don't want to reveal all your cards. And, you know, if you do reveal to everybody like, we're going all in, then maybe that raises their prices, you know, like
Right.
for what they're willing to give. I don't know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here.
No, I
It's-
hear you. I mean, if GMs didn't think the Blue Jays were already going all in, you know, then it's like, well,
I get it.
You're fired.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I get it. I do get it. But yeah, so clearly we're interested, but so are, you know, all of the other baseball teams.
Watch out, Juan Soto to the Athletics to Sacramento.
Yeah.
It could happen, everybody. But that wasn't it. That's not the only quote that Ross Atkins came out and said. They also brought up the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. extension conversation again.
Now, this
so-
is important.
This-
I'm very
this
interested to
is.
hear what it is that he had to say about this, because, again, I have not even read this yet, guys, so this is literally the full uncensored reaction. So the question is, do you believe an extension for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. would change the tone of conversations with prospective free agents?
Which I think we've all been saying for 1,000 years here. Yes,
Right.
I think it would.
Yeah.
Right?
Ross
And-
Atkins,
yeah.
though, says, I don't know. That's hard to project.
Oh, my God.
I think what I can tell you is that we have had a good number of players that like this market. They love this city. They love this country. They've seen the success this group is at. Okay, well, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, this is where you know the
obviously-
bullshit meter's going off. My
Yeah.
bullshit meter.
Yeah. Obviously, they're also aware that we're coming off a disappointing year, but I don't think that's been anything that has been an inhibitor. How is that not an inhibitor? You know,
Yeah,
I
don't
just
get it.
I never
Your window's
understand
closing.
that.
Your window's closing, and you're coming off a bad year with an aging George Springer, and you have a no bullpen. Like, how is that not an inhibitor when you have other teams?
Yeah,
Like, I don't.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't get it.
like realistically, if you were gonna go down the rabbit hole of like, I don't know, that's hard to project, then okay, you say I don't know, that's hard to project. I can't speak for anyone else. And I'm like, all right, okay, fine, fair enough. But then to
Right.
go on and say, like, talk about the success that this group has had, you know,
He's just glazing.
give me,
bro.
yeah, like, where's the playoff banner, guys?
Yeah,
Where's
no.
the playoff wins?
Look, I guess again, if we're gonna take this quote and play devil's advocate, maybe it isn't. Maybe they saw the success over the last 5 years and they were like, you know what, you did bring in a good team, but you just didn't have a player like me to bring you over the edge.
Okay, but
you know?
here's the thing: like, you gotta think about this from a player's perspective too, right? If you're a player and you know you're on the open market, especially somebody that's not Juan Soto, because Juan Soto has his pick of the litter.
Mm-hmm.
He can really walk into the room and then just effectively demand anything he wants, and like they'll sit and they'll listen to him.
Right,
But
right.
just like the standard free agent, for instance, somebody like Anthony Santander.
Yeah.
That guy, like, very, very
Yeah.
good player. But, you know, he can't walk into the room and say, well, you're going to need to give me more money because you guys suck and I don't want to go to a shit team.
Yeah,
You know
no.
what I mean? Like,
If
he's
he's-
going to be playing it up and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I see the vision here. He's
Right.
not going to tell Ross Atkins that, like, yeah, this is a big problem for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Like if all 30 teams are in on Soto, yeah. Well, how many teams are in on Santander? Like, I can't speculate, but
He
7
wants-
is 6. You know, but how many are gonna? If Ross Atkins comes out with a decent offer on the table, then you can't be picky at that point.
Exactly.
Like you take the biggest offer.
You know, and I do think that okay, when you're in the meeting room and when you're talking to the agency and all that stuff, yeah, they're not outright saying it's like, oh, this is a big problem for him. But in the back of his head, like, of course that's going to be a factor. That's going to be a factor for anybody.
Right,
You know, it's like
right.
that's just the way that humans operate. And I shout out and thank you to the person that just subscribed right
Beach
there. If you haven't
buddy.
already done so, please hit that subscribe button. But that's just the way that these negotiations happen. You walk into a meeting for a job interview, even if you secretly want the other job, that you just
Right.
interviewed for, you're still going to put on your best possible smile and say how great this spot is, even if you think it's terrible. So Ross Atkins can come out and say, it's like, I don't think that's been an inhibitor. It has. It will be.
We're going to find out if you start realizing, why is Juan Soto going to the Red Sox when I offered him $10 million?
Yeah.
Then you'll start to realize there might be a problem with me.
Exactly.
Right? Like, that's what it comes down to. So, hey, shout out to Trips Got Drip. That's a sick name.
That is pretty sick, actually.
Welcome to the community, everybody. And shout out again to the 267 people in here. But, yeah, man, like, I hope to God it's not a big inhibitor for these lower kind of middling free agents. Like, it's just, hey, you're getting a contract offer, like, you go and you take it. But yeah, you're right. Like to the upper guys like a Pete Alonso or Max Fried, that could be a problem.
Of course. Even if they're not going to come in and say it outright, like just knowing where you're going to be and where you're going to play. Like everyone comes out and talks about this after the fact.
Yeah.
Like after they're out of free agency, they'll come and they'll talk about, especially when when they're done their careers, like retired guys, they'll come and they'll talk about how it's like, oh yeah, like that one free agency, like I had a couple teams vying for me. I believed in like the vision here.
Right.
And so I went there, right? They always like this is a real thing, So, I mean, okay, you can't project how people are going to react. That's a fair point. You don't know what's going on in somebody's brain, but I would say that 9 times out of 10, signing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to a long-term contract, it certainly isn't going to hurt someone from wanting to come here.
Yeah, and that's why I dodged this question, because we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to give Vladdy any more leverage than it needs to be, or other players for that fact, by answering the question saying, yeah, actually, it does inhibit us, because then they can come, big-name guys can come to the table and say, you know what? Yeah, you know what? You're right. I do want Vladdy signed here, so before I make my decision, you got to go do that, so we'll see. But that was his comments there, so obviously another nothing burger. He then goes on to talk about some top-tier starting pitching, as a contingency plan or a priority. Which one is it, Ross Atkins? What are we doing? Because we all heard, they were in on Max Fried. Before the Blake Snell signing, they were in on Blake Snell. They were in on Coburn Burns, right? So, and we were kind of shocked by that, being like, well, why are they in on these guys when we have a pretty solid rotation? Well, they brought it up. They brought it up here and asked him. So when asked whether top-tier starting pitching was a contingency priority, or a contingency plan, or a priority, Ross Atkins says, it's more a great outcome. It's not something we can just say we absolutely have to do. We would like to improve our pitching. That would be one way to do it. It doesn't mean if we have an impact addition to our position player group on the offensive side that we can't impact our pitching as well. And this, again, I don't know if you heard that, but that was a bunch of bull crap.
I was listening to that. It was like, yeah, it's more of a, it's just more of a
meshy.
Yeah,
how to say a lot without saying anything. Your teacher's asking for 1,000 words on an essay, and you get Ross Atkins, he's gonna nail it for you. Like he's just gonna fill it up with garbage.
Man, it really is quite infuriating. Like it's so, like why can't you just say yeah?
Yeah, is getting top tier starting pitching a contingency plan or priority? You should say, well, I think obviously adding great tier pitching around is great for the team, but for us right now, I mean, if we miss out on some key guys that you might be already aware of, then yeah, we're gonna go get that guy if he's available. Say it.
I just don't think that it's that much of a competitive advantage to not say that.
Yeah, I hate that.
What people are really gonna use the fact that you said it is a priority to get more money out of you. I don't know. It's so stupid. We're a 74-win team. I think they know that you need their help. It's
I mean, all the rumors around there is like the Blue Jays reek of desperation. We really want every player. Like, you're not hiding anything, Ross Atkins. Like, we know what's going on here, man. That's just I just want someone to. It's like a politician, man. He reminds me so much of a politician. It hurts my brain.
No, it really does.
Can't give me a straight answer.
Massive shout out here to Craig with the $2 dono saying, "What is Atkins' biggest win as a GM with the Jays?" That's a great question, dude. I would argue that. Again, we get on him a lot, but there has been some really good signings in there. I think that when you look at that decision to not retain Cy Young, Robbie Ray, and to bring in instead Kevin Gausman, who was effectively, kind of the same guy, but one of them just won Cy Young and was familiar with the city, and one of them was coming all the way from the National League. That was a risky decision. And, like, that's one of those ones that easily could have backfired. Like, in an alternate reality, Robbie Ray is still winning Cy Youngs, and Kevin Gausman, is terrible. Because at the time, there was a couple years in Kevin Gausman's career, too, where it's like he was all over the place.
A few years. It took him a long time to figure it out.
Yeah, so in an alternate reality, that deal looks horrendous, and we're wondering why the hell didn't we keep Robbie Ray? But that was one of those ones where, like, you nailed it, you made the right choice here, and, I mean, I can't complain at all with that.
I would say, too, like a video game type of move that he made was trading for Jose Barrios with a year and a half left on his contract, and then just, like, getting that 7-year extension done, like, that offseason for a very good price.
No, you're right.
Very consistent. Like, that was probably my favorite move he's ever made.
No, that's a good point, too, man. That was definitely up there for me, and I remember I still am very high on Jose Barrios, and even though he had that one really rough year, other than that, he has been capped in consistency and will give you 32 games a year, and for the most part, a 3.5 ERA, so can't complain about that.
I don't know if you, not to get too sidetracked, but we're just chilling tonight. Did you see there was an article, and I don't know which article, but it was on Twitter, it was clipped, of someone made an article talking about the worst contracts right now, and Jose Barrios was on that, along with other guys like, DJ LeMahieu and Jordan Montgomery.
I did not see that. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I can't possibly understand why that would even be the case.
Like over his entire contract, he's giving you 300, 450 innings, something like that. Like someone's got to go check it out. Like he's giving you a shitload of innings, a lot of WAR, lots of wins. By the way, his win losses are very phenomenal, and a good, decent enough ERA. I know there's that one ugly year, but good enough. Like that's a great signing.
I would go so far to say, and I'm pulling this number out of my ass, but I would go so far to say that there might be, hundreds of guys that I would put on that list before I would put Jose Barrios.
Absolutely.
Like legitimately a lot of players that I would put ahead of him in terms of bad contracts.
Yeah, continuing with the theme of like what else he did good. People were talking about like Semien, Laura Lizzie talking about Semien being a good signing. That was a great signing.
Yeah.
Steven Matz not getting him back. That was a great move. He was doing phenomenal. Sorry to cut you off, but he was doing phenomenal up until the season of 2022. After 2022, the Seattle Mariners series.
2 years ago, and then we kind of fell off the rails and made some bad decisions. And honestly, there hasn't really been a big win since then. Like any of the signings, any of the trades, like there really hasn't been a win.
Bassett. Maybe, is pretty good signing for the price what he was, right? But, yeah, like I was telling you before, like there hasn't been an offseason where we've been doing all these streams and all these watch-alongs and following all these free agents, and there hasn't been a big free agent where I'm like, oh, my God, we got him. No way. Like, it's always been like, oh, we ended up with Justin Turner. Let's talk about it. It's not the same level.
Well, that's the thing, and that needs to change this offseason for sure. So obviously he came in, he was speaking about Soto and Guerrero and everything like that. But those aren't the only free agents available, man. Let's talk a little bit more about Juan Soto because some information from Ken Rosenthal He's got
a couple more. He got a couple more here.
281 people in here, guys. Can we get up to 69 likes? You know the rules. Massive shout out to the 69th like. Couple more quotes from Ross Atkins before we talk about some of the latest Juan Soto rumblings and then get to some other stuff as well. To what extent do you think the Soto sweepstakes are slowing down the market for other players? Okay, great question because I've also been thinking the exact same thing. Ross Atkins responds by saying, when somebody is near the top of a market, that usually has some impact on others, but that doesn't preclude us or other teams from moving. Okay. I mean, that's
probably the most concrete answer he's given.
Yeah, and that's definitely fair. I guess my follow-up question, and like I guess they didn't include it in this article, but my follow-up question would be, why aren't you moving?
Yeah, is there a reality where like maybe you can go get some guys while we're also in this Juan Soto sweepstakes? Because there's guys going off the board, like Blake Snell's gone. Well, that's Frankie Montas.
That's the thing, like. Obviously you don't wanna close the door on Juan Soto or anything like that because we are talking about a generational player here. Also, we smashed past 69 likes. Can we rocket to number 100? And let me know who number 69 is in the chat. But obviously you don't want to close the door on Soto or anything of that matter. But this is almost a great time to go out and to get some free agents.
Yeah.
Because, there's some other teams out there that aren't necessarily giving them their full attention right now, right? You got basically all of the big players in on Juan Soto. Well, right now, Teoscar Hernandez is sitting there kind of twiddling his thumbs, wondering when's my time going to come.
Right.
What if you jumped on, what if you went there early and showed him, like, your full 100%?
Yeah.
Like, we want you more than anyone. I'm not saying that that's going to, move the needle, but it might, right?
Yeah,
like,
it might. And I don't think there would be a problem defensively because they play both the same position, but I think you have a DH spot for a reason, right? Like, I agree. And I mean, you even looked at like a move that happened today, and we'll break it down a little bit later, but you had the Red Sox just go get Aroldis Chapman. He had a very good year for Aroldis Chapman at his age. He had a pretty good year, and like I would want him in my bullpen. Like they went and got him. You had the Mets go get Frankie Montas. They needed depth in their rotation. Like we need to make a move on our end to add depth to show that we're making moves.
Because you brought it up, let's flash over to that Aroldis Chapman deal really quick. We were going to bring this up and talk about this because it does seem like the Boston Red Sox are going to be pretty active this free agency, whether it be a Juan Soto get or just other things in general. It seems like they've finally woken up, which isn't great for us,
thanks.
Great for Boston fans. But
we're also, total side note, where are the Orioles? We just forgot about those guys?
I don't know, man. You know what? If Boston's going to wake up right now, like
stay asleep.
Stay down.
That's
what
I'm saying, because I'm like, I don't need them also doing shit.
No, thank you, right? But they went out, they got Aroldis Chapman, $10.75 million contract on a 1-year deal, 36-year-old. Like, that to me is a good get. And, when you're thinking about the Blue Jays and the needs that we have going on right now,
I know.
that is certainly somebody that I would have been more than okay with giving $10 million to for one season of production. Yes, you're running the risk of him having a fall off year because he is getting up there in age.
It was a lot of money too, like $10 million for what he did. But
it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. You might be paying a little bit for that resume and for that bounce back. But if anybody can bounce back, then it's somebody like Aroldis Chapman, who is still, even at the age of 36, striking out a ton of people.
He is.
Like, if you're looking for somebody to get you out of a jam, then I think this guy would be a great option. Obviously, no longer on the table. Like, good get from the Boston Red Sox right there. But, I mean, these are the type of players that, like, we need to be going out and getting. Not necessarily saying, like, Aroldis Chapman's going to save the day or anything. But there are other guys out there that, we can sign to a 1-year deal just to help that bullpen out a little bit now.
And there's better guys than Aroldis Chapman out there that you could get $10 million for. But now this was the problem. Like, they went aggressive and got Aroldis Chapman for $10 million. You're going to have a lot of other people going, well, I'm way better than this guy. You got an old man who's got, like, a 1.346 ERA. Yeah, he's Aroldis Chapman, but I'm better than him. I can do just as good, if not better. Like, I'm thinking about Kirby Yates right now. Similar age, but was phenomenal last year.
He was dominant last year.
I think he might get a lot more than that. Like, I could be like 12, 15.
It's honestly, it is really difficult to judge bullpen guys, though.
It is.
Because, like, I don't know if that's, like, setting the market necessarily. I wouldn't be surprised either. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Kirby Yates gets, like, $15 million a year. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets, like, 8 a year. Just because bullpen guys, like, they're so up and down with their contracts and stuff like that. It does feel like, it's roll the dice. You never know what's going to happen.
It felt like that Red Sox move, too, was like, again, like, they needed to sweeten the deal, I guess, of Soto and, like, make it look a little bit more attractive. So they go and they address that bullpen a little bit.
Maybe not. Like, I give them a lot of respect for going out and just getting a guy early. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, maybe we're overpaying a little, but it's 1 year. Yeah. And now this is like one less spot that we have to worry about, And from a Toronto Blue Jays standpoint, where there is a shitload of spots out there, I mean, overpaying on a 1-year deal for a bullpen guy, like,
who cares?
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, like, I don't really care.
I'm okay with it.
Well, we're certainly going to need it, right? And hopefully they get something done soon. We do got one more quote from Ross Atkins. Speaking of getting things done, he was asked, when do you anticipate being able to get some things done?
Okay, all right. This is
a good one.
This is kind of the follow-up question that I was looking for.
Yep. And he says, I think there's still a great deal of opportunity for us.
Of course he did. Of course he fucking did.
Wait, no shit. No shit. There's an opportunity for you to improve this team? Really? Tell me more.
Shout out and thank you to the person that just subscribed right there. We appreciate everybody that has subscribed and joined the community. Joe Bub 1.
Thank you. Ross continues to say, we feel confident there are several ways to make our team better. Okay, here we go. More BS. There are aspects in every market at every tier. This is my first time reading it too. That are still available for this organization. We don't have unlimited resources, obviously, but we do have the potential to make our team better via free agency.
Wow.
Dude, how do you say one thing but in a full paragraph? That's how he just did it. There's lots of chances to improve this team.
Dude, I think like some of Ross Atkins' favorite word, like what do you think the word that Ross Atkins says the most is? Opportunity,
resources.
Organization. I think opportunity and potential are like right up there. Like I would say that those are like, he does say confident a lot. Like apparently he's always very confident about things. But I would say that opportunity and potential are like right up there because he's always trying to sell the hope.
Yeah,
he's trying to sell what's an opportunity and what's potential.
It's everywhere.
It's the possibility of something.
It's the hope.
You know, he's always trying to sell the hope, right? We have the opportunity to do something. We have the potential to go ahead and get. It's the same shit, you know, just different times every year.
It's so funny, man. I got lost reading that because I started laughing, but like, I just circled back to the question. I forgot what the effing question was. It was, when do you anticipate being able to get some things done? He has no, like, just tell me, like, say, like, well, if you want to talk about hope and potential, be like, I hope before Christmas. Like, just say, like, I wouldn't, and if you didn't, then I wouldn't even blame you. Like, you were hoping before Christmas.
That's,
obviously something went wrong. Like, but, like, you could give us a somewhat of an answer. Yes. You didn't say anything. So
no, like, legitimately,
that's
nothing at all right there.
It's a nothing burger.
It's like, yes, you're right. We knew that you had the opportunity.
Ooh.
You do have the potential.
Dude, the thing that kills me is there are aspects in every market at every tier.
Yeah,
so you're just like getting it deeper of the amount of opportunity there is. There's guys that are really good.
Yes.
There's guys that are not so good.
Yeah.
But there's guys in the middle. We could get them all. Which one do you want? It's just ridiculous.
So guys, we have the potential and the opportunity in every aspect of every tier of every market, but we don't have unlimited resources. But you know, we're gonna go out and do our best.
We're gonna take advantage of these opportunities. So guys,
of every market.
Also, real quick, shout out to the 305 people in here. If you have not already, make sure to hit that like button.
5 likes away to number 100.
Hey, actually. 5 likes to 100. Let's get there, guys. And let's keep on going. That was just the beginning, guys. That was just the beginning.
That was just the beginning. Ross Atkins, lots of fun stuff right there. You guys let us know in the chat. What do you think his favorite word is?
What's his favorite word?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the latest rumblings on Juan Soto, because they are absolutely heating up those sweepstakes. And Juan Soto, we heard yesterday, is looking to get the highest offer from the Toronto Blue Jays. We've been wondering what that number is going to be. Ken Rosenthal effectively confirms now that it is over $600 million by his sources. In this article, he goes on to talk about how Juan Soto has received his offers, has gotten them, is on the table right now. He's got all, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different offers right now. Now he's in the process of eliminating teams. So we anticipate that in the next little bit, certain teams are going to fall out of the race. Honestly, like, if we're going to get eliminated, eliminate me early.
I agree.
Just like rip the Band-Aid off, and then it's like, okay, we're moving on to Teoscar Hernandez. We're moving on to Santander. We're moving on to Pete Alonso.
I hear you.
I don't want to be in the same situation that we were last year with Shohei Ohtani, where we're right there, right up until the very end. Plane tracker, he's coming, he's not coming. We don't have anyone.
You know what? I got a feeling it's going to happen again, Nick, because if we have the highest offer, we've heard reports. I mean, why wouldn't
That's true. How do you throw out the highest offer? In the
like,
you're
going to keep around the high. That's why we were still in on Ohtani. He actually says in this article, we already knew this, but like the Blue Jays were willing to match the highest offer for Juan. So here it is right here.
Or Ohtani.
Or Ohtani, excuse me. The Blue Jays and Dodgers are considering longer shots, though the Jays were willing to match the Dodgers bid for Ohtani last offseason and seem to be just as intently focused on Soto. So, like, if it comes down, it could be down to the Mets and Blue Jays, and down to the Boston Red Sox and Blue Jays. I feel like that's going to happen, but we're still considered a long shot because it's like we're the Blue Jays. Well, we have everything going against us.
That's the thing, right? Like, and I actually saw a tweet today come out, and I guess let me hear your thoughts in the chat, everybody. 323 you in here right now. Shout out to the legends in here, and let me hear your thoughts too. So, initially, when this whole offseason kicked off, the conversation was Juan Soto is going to go to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Juan Soto's got all he cares about is money. He's going to go to the highest bidder. Then it comes out just yesterday, well, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be the highest bidder. So naturally, one would think that, well, okay, Toronto Blue Jays should at the very least be favorited in this race if the logic is he's going to go the highest bidder. But now it's like, oh, well, he's not going to go to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, because no one wants to believe it. Like that, I think
like,
that's
is that what it is,
like,
or is it the fact that we were a 74-win team last year and we're in Canada?
Here's the thing, and actually, I got to give a lot of credit to Chris Rose. I listened to this his podcast today, and they were talking about Juan Soto and Trevor Plouffe was bringing up. Well, he's obviously going to want to play on a good team, and teams like the Toronto Blue Jays, they're going to have to pay a lot more because, of the makeup of their team, and they're going to have a lot to sell on him. And Chris Rose is like, I don't think that's true at all. I think Juan Soto has gone from Washington to San Diego to New York. He has no loyalty anywhere.
Right.
He doesn't care. He really doesn't. He wants to get the most money ever. And as in someone in Juan Soto's place, you're absolutely within your right to do that. And if that's what the Toronto Blue Jays overpaying 30, 40, 50 more million on the end of his contract, then don't be shocked if he goes to the Toronto Blue Jays, everybody. Yeah. Who cares if he has a bad team? He's been on worse teams than the Toronto Blue Jays. He's been on the Washington Nationals. Granted, they won a World Series, but they were worse at one point with him. So who's to say that he's not going to be a Blue Jay?
Yeah. And also, too, I imagine that Juan Soto is the type of guy that truly believes wholeheartedly wherever he goes, he's going to create success.
Oh, for sure.
Because pretty
they
much,
go out and they spend.
And also, too, think about his MLB career, right? He immediately comes up, is one of the best players in baseball. The Washington Nationals weren't really being talked about as being an incredible team at that. No. They did have great pitching, but it was okay.
It got good. It got good right near the end of 2019,
But, immediately wins a World Series.
Yeah.
Then gets traded off to the San Diego Padres. They don't fully fulfill expectations, but, they still, do okay, go to the playoffs, do that whole shebang, goes to the Yankees, gets to the World Series. I would imagine that Juan Soto truly believes that wherever he goes, he's going to create the success.
And I think that's true.
That is honestly it's been the case so far.
Let's be honest. We're the worst of the top 5 teams going in on Juan Soto. If we go get Juan Soto, we're immediately a better team. Right, how much better? It's tough to say. 78, 79, 80.
More.
Yeah, are we an 80-win team now? Maybe actually we could be around 500 again. And then, you think the Ross Atkins is just going to stop there? No, because you got Juan Soto now. You have to go get more. You probably go get a starting pitcher of some caliber. You definitely go fix that bullpen. Now what are we? Are we fringe wild card? Are we a contender now?
Yeah. And also,
maybe.
I guess it really does depend. How does he want his MLB career to play out and to look? Does he want to walk in to an already elite situation, or is he looking at the next decade here? Because we're a 74-win team right now. Well, we get Juan Soto. What are we in 5 years from now when he is still in his prime?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure, in the time of having Juan Soto, there's not gonna. That's 2 windows of time where it's you make it happen.
Right. Or is all he thinking about is, well, I could have an opt-out after year 5 and I could get paid $250
and let me
million.
Tell you, that's why personally I hate the idea of that, because if you do get Juan Soto, it's I want to be able to plan with you for the next decade. It's not just this year, it's not just next. It's we're going all in for the next time period.
Right.
Which is why I don't love that. Again, if that's the only way that you get him here, then that's the only way you get him here.
Yeah, you do it. Right, you do it.
I
know, you do it anyways. So when everyone out there is saying wake up, or if someone's telling you you shouldn't believe in the Juan Soto stuff, or he's not coming to Toronto, it's well, just look at the logic that we're talking about here. We are going to be the highest bidder, apparently, and he wants the most money. So we'll see how it plays out. But to circle all the way back how we got on this conversation, you're saying, like, I hope that if we're not going to be on him, we just get out. I am afraid that we're probably not going to get out.
That's true.
We're probably in it.
If that's the case, then cross the finish line.
Let's go.
Literally,
Let's go.
Cross
we said
the
this
finish
last
line.
year.
We did. Of course, we said this last year, right? But, I said this, actually, at the beginning of the offseason when we were starting to hear about all this. Learn from last year.
Right.
Okay, you matched the Dodgers' offer, right? You matched.
Beat it.
That's not enough.
That's clearly
that's not enough, right? You can't just match the offer of the New York Mets or the New York Yankees or what have you.
You need to beat it.
We got to go 50, 75, $100 million over. Like, if you're going to be the highest bidder, be the fucking highest bidder, right?
Yeah.
Make it so clear and obvious that, like, we are going to go above and beyond. We're gonna overpay. It's going to be an overpay.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it to get our guy to make this happen.
Yeah, like, everyone says, and I was kind of talking about the Mets this way, where, they're going to just wait till everyone else makes their offer, then they're going to make the higher offer. Well, you be the New York Mets.
Yeah.
You make the higher offer. They're like, confidently, okay, we'll go 680. Well, 700.
Bang.
Oh, okay.
Not even
710. 720.
Yeah. That's it. Like, literally.
That's what it's got to be, though.
That's the card that you have to play. If you're
gotta.
going to be all in on this and be the highest bidder, that's your card. That's the one. That's your literal one, like, get out of jail free or, like, Trump card right there. So use it.
Literally, right? So that's kind of the update, from Mr. Ken Rosenthal. I mean, I think we literally covered it all. It's just, he's going to make those decisions next week. Apparently, he's a methodical thinker, Juan Soto.
Right.
I would assume so, the way he takes his at-bats. Sorry, methodical. He's probably very methodical the way he handles his contract. So he's going to take some time, but I hope we'll see next week. Maybe we have like a final 3, final 2.
It should be in the winter meetings. Winter meetings are going to be starting on December 8th, everybody. So that is in less than a week's time, actually. We're going to be going live probably as much as possible. Potentially, it could be just every single evening, just covering all of that during the day if there's some breaking news. For the draft lottery especially, Toronto Blue Jays are really looking at that. Could genuinely change the course of the franchise if we end up with number 1 overall right there.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to be live at 5:30, I think it is. That's when it's on. So we'll be watching our MLB Network and giving you guys live coverage. So if you don't have MLB Network, if you're in Canada like we are, but we do have MLB Network, we can watch it and let you guys know what's going on.
But don't go anywhere right now, guys, because we are not going anywhere. Let's talk a bit about MLB Scoops. All right?
Let's do it.
MLB Scoops is an account on Twitter that in the off-season kind of pops off.
There's a reason why.
Yeah, so MLB Scoops, can you flash over to the thing right here?
Shout out to Josh Goldberg.
Shout out to Josh Goldberg. MLB Scoops takes all the shots. They take all the shots. Legitimately, like, for years now, they will tweet out everything, anything and everything. And sometimes they get stuff right. Most of the times they get stuff wrong. And right now they are saying that the Toronto Blue Jays have been informed that they are out of the Juan Soto sweepstakes.
Yet you have Ken Rosenthal coming out just now saying that they're not. And in fact, Juan Soto is going to take his time to think about it. So
yeah. So
and why would you tell the highest bidding team that they're out?
Correct.
That's why it doesn't make any sense. But also, he's just taking shots because one of them will be right.
And here's the thing too, like his whole, or whoever this is, I don't know.
I don't even know who this is.
Couldn't tell you. Whomstever runs MLB Scoops will fire as many shots as possible to invoke a response and to invoke conversation.
And here we are.
Conversing and responsing about it.
Yeah, right? They want this, right? So yeah, if you guys see MLB Scoops, I saw someone bringing it up in the chat before the live streams because I was like, well, what did MLB Scoops say? You're talking about it. Try not to listen to it. It makes you want to listen to it, especially if it's a positive thing about your team. But try to avoid it. Also, shout out to I can't even read that.
Shout out to Austin Omino.
Austin Omino
right there.
Ooh.
With a $6.99 dono. Thank you so much for donating, dude. We appreciate you. He says, okay, if we got Juan Soto, what's the future of Bo and Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? That's a great question. It's actually something that I'm going to be talking about a little bit tomorrow when I release my video. That's going to be coming out roughly 10, 11, noon, whenever I get time to edit it. But there was discussion about this recently. I believe it was Ken Rosenthal that talked about this, and he was saying that it's almost a certainty that if Juan Soto signs, Guerrero will not be re-signing. And, we've kind of been we knew that. We talked ourselves into a little bit of a fantasy where it's like, oh, well, maybe they get both of them.
It's happened before. I mean, it's happening in LA.
Maybe they do. But, the word on the street is that it is almost a certainty that if they get Juan Soto, Guerrero is gone. Bo Bichette, I'm not so sure, because at this point I really have no idea what his contract is going to look like. What I can assure you, though, is that for one season where you have Soto and where you have Vlad and where you hopefully have Bo Bichette bouncing back, and when you have that good rotation that we still have, for one season, shit is going to pop on the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, especially if we go get like a Max Fried and we fix up that bullpen. We're going to have a Yankees season where the year before, I mean, think about the year last year, not last year, 2024, 2023.
82 wins.
They won like 82 games.
Missed playoffs. Wasn't really
they weren't it.
Wasn't great across the board.
And what did they do? They signed Marcus Stroman. They traded away one of their starting pitchers and their backup catcher for Juan Soto. And I can't remember any big bullpen signings or anybody other than that. Oh, they traded for Verdugo. That was it. All they did was basically replace Michael King and add Juan Soto.
Oh, it's a big ad.
And then it was a big ad, but that's what I'm saying right here. Like, if you go, or what you're saying too, you go add Juan Soto, like, you could be back.
Look, that's the thing, right? Like, it really is a different ballgame at that point. I'm not saying that we're going to immediately go to the World Series or anything like that, but it changes the game. Absolutely. It really, really does change the game. And then anything on top of that is just gravy. Yes, it does mean that after next year, you're not going to have Guerrero. It's just like, it's not going to happen, right? You'd be looking at like what, $1.1 billion into two guys. It's not realistic.
You would have to get uber creative, and Vladdy would really have to enjoy his one season with Juan Soto and be like, on my favorite team with Juan Soto, like, I have to.
That's the thing, like let's not even do that to ourselves, because it won't happen. And then on the off like 0.1% chance that it does, we can all freak out. But if you get Juan Soto, you are sacrificing Guerrero. But that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, and people out there, I don't know if they're saying in the chat or not, but people have said, like, no, don't do that. Vladdy, we want him over Juan Soto, and I think I got to disagree with that. I mean, I love Vladdy, don't get me wrong, and I never thought there'd be a player out there that would convince me to drop Vladdy because of my love for him, but Juan Soto's that guy. Like, I'd have
there's
to.
Like there's a handful of just a couple guys where I can go, okay.
It's Juan Soto. It was Ohtani last year.
Yeah.
That's it, really. Like, that's actually it of the guys who were free agents.
Yeah, I'd have to I'd have to get creative and think, like, okay, maybe if
do we trade for Tatis or Acuna?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If Paul Skeens did it again and then became a free agent, like, you know what I mean? There's a very small list of guys where I'd be actually willing to pay for them instead of Guerrero. Soto is one of those guys, and that is just the choice that you make.
It is.
Let's move on and talk a little bit about some other news going on across MLB. Do you know how to pronounce his name?
It's very close to Ha-Seong Kim. It's Hae-Sung Kim, I believe it is how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Hae-Sung Kim. If someone has a better pronunciation of that, let me know in the chat. But Hae-Sung Kim, a guy entering the free agency pool. That's cool.
Is he good?
He is he's pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say he's like a Ha-Seong Kim. Right. I would, when he was first coming over. But he's a guy who could potentially be honestly, like a Gleyber Torres kind of ceiling where, this guy has lots of high contact. If you look at his stats from the previous 2 years, he batted well over 300, 335, then 326. The OPS was up there. Doesn't have a lot of slugging, but he showcased a little bit of it last year with his slugging getting up there for career highs. But what I really love is the on-base ability. He's almost hit 400, then he hit 383. So obviously, when you go over to the MLB, you're going to see a bit of regression. So you're looking at a guy, that's why I kind of say Gleyber Torres, like a high 200 batting average when he figures it out, on base of the 360, 350 mark, like maybe mid 700 OPS. Like, this is a guy that could actually do something. And steals a lot of bases. Stole 30 last year, 25 the year prior. Dude, he had 46 in 2021. He'll be turning 26 this year, so he's still got some legs under him. So this could be an option, bottom of the lineup kind of guy. Could play second short, utility guy. I mean, hey, that sounds like a Toronto Blue Jay to me.
Yeah, 100%, right? And again, like, this is exciting for baseball in general. Like, I love to see this kind of wave of Japanese players coming over here. And again, not all of them are going to hit.
No.
Not all of them are going to hit, but some of them are. And it's really nice to see, like, them joining into this league and, like, showing, like, there really isn't that much of a talent discrepancy. You know, like, you talk about that Japanese league.
Yeah.
And it always was kind of talked about as, like, oh, well, that's just, you know, That's a couple tiers removed.
Right.
I don't know if they're that many tiers removed anymore with like what we've been seeing recently.
I've been finding like the tier difference is getting really tight.
Damn tight.
It's tight. I mean, it feels like every year you got like three or four guys coming over.
Like,
whereas
and
years prior it wasn't like that.
Yes, you know, like it feels like they've kind of caught up, and like maybe the depth isn't necessarily there, but like the star power is just as good, if not, you know, even better than what it is in America.
Do you remember that guy you were telling me about, the power hitting third baseman?
Third baseman.
Yeah, power hitting third baseman. He is going to be posted in 2026. That's what came out.
Yeah, I remember. See, that was a guy. If you guys remember the World Baseball Classic, I forget this guy's name.
Yeah,
but that was somebody that was like being talked about back then.
Yeah,
and like that's how you know it's like, okay, we're like 3 years.
Yeah.
People are already talking about you. But
so 2026. Watch out.
Speaking of Japanese players, you just reminded me about this update right here from Scott Mitchell. This is an exciting one, folks, because this is also a game changer. Scott Mitchell tweets out, "This might percolate for a hot minute, given it'll be mid-January, but the amount I've heard all in when it comes to Blue Jays and Roki Sasaki is probably a good thing. They have an existing relationship via close people, and it's not crazy to think he might be intrigued by Toronto, this city. Roki Sasaki is the guy coming out of Japan this year. And you look at some of the top free agency lists, they have him ranked number 2 behind Juan Soto for a couple different reasons. One, the talent is incredible. And, you know, he's right up there with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, if not even better than him, as a Japanese pitching prospect. Like, we're talking about somebody who is elite.
Oh, my God.
And the difference, though, between him and Yoshinobu Yamamoto is that Yoshinobu Yamamoto signed a, what was it, like decade-long,
325,
Yeah, a lot of goddamn money. This guy's going to be on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to get the same level of production.
All you have to give up is your entire international signing bonus, but you'll do it.
Okay with that.
I mean, the Blue Jays got like $2.5 million for because it's gonna be for 2025. It's because he's gonna be posted then. So we actually had like a couple $100,000, but we're gonna get that bumped up to like $2.5 million. And that's a guy who I'd want to spend money on because when you look at it, and again, look at the age too, 22 years old, and he's got a career 2.02 ERA with a WHIP of 0.883 strikeouts.
That's insane.
And look at the strikeouts per 9 too. That's Blake Snell. That's Blake Snell over there, you know, Roki Sasaki.
And you're talking about somebody, too, who is 23.
Yeah.
Like, he's had, 5-6 years in the Japanese league, and he's done that?
4 years, he's done all that.
I mean, like, it just goes to show, like, you are so above and beyond the other guys. Like, it's time.
Here's what I like to look at, and I love how they have this here because it kind of gives you a comparison. Look at the age difference. He when he was doing, even in 2024, negative 5.7 was the age difference in the league that he was playing in. And then negative 8.7. He was facing guys on average 9 years older than him, and he had a 1.84.
He was literally
wrecking these guys. That's the talent right there. I've seen enough. Like this guy, if the Blue Jays were to get him, we might miss on Juan Soto. I mean, fuck, we got both of them. I mean, just fantasy land. But that is a major win. That's like a Paul Skeens joining your team right there.
Legitimately. That is actually what it is. We're talking
about. He throws
about,
upper hundreds, too.
This guy immediately becomes, if you bring him in, he's the number 1 prospect in all of baseball.
Yeah.
That's what he becomes.
He's the clear favorite. Favorite to win Rookie of the Year.
It's going to be like negative 500 or some shit.
Seriously.
You know, like it's going to be so clear because, of course, right? Like this guy's going to come in and he's going to dominate. And he's somebody, too, that, you know, you think about rookies, well, you got to put them on innings limits. You got to put them on pitch limit. Not this guy. He's pitched 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we can start like the arm is already ramped up.
Yeah, I mean, you actually do make a good point. Like, he only pitched 111 last year,
That's
91
okay,
the year
though.
before, 129 the year before. Maybe we get 130.
I think,
You know,
I think we'll
140?
probably go further than that. Yeah, that's what, like I'm thinking.
We'll see.
You can get up to 150 with him.
Okay,
I'm gonna push.
push
I'm
him.
gonna push the limit right here. You got him for so cheap too. You'd be paying this guy, what, like $1 million?
Nothing. Well, you give him
Less
the,
than that?
the
You give him
signing
the signing
bonus,
bonus.
and then so the first year is going to be like 3.5 or something
Oh,
like that for the
no.
Blue Jays.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's nothing, dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, that's half of Romano's contract when we decline that. You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
God,
that's ridiculous.
That's
So,
gonna kill us. Yeah.
However, to circle it all back, like, I mean, sure, it's nice to hear that. And I did hear this before, that we have a lot of connections with him. We've been kind of with him along the way. Like, I bet we were kind of like we saw him as a 19-year-old, like, we got to get this guy.
Yes.
And then we were kind of like creating relationships. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't be butthurt if he went to the Dodgers, because that feels right.
Well, I wouldn't be butthurt either, but if there's any way that you can snake this guy out from LA, oh, Ross. I take back everything
I take
negative.
back a lot.
I've literally, I do.
He's
like,
been cooking for literally 4 years trying to
yeah,
get this guy.
Yeah, because this is somebody who I do really believe, like, I would, if I had to put my life on it, I would do it, that he's going to be an LA Dodger.
Yeah.
So if you could snake him away, and if we are actually all in and we're doing everything we can to get him, you convince him on all of this stuff, my God, that would be just such a, like, that is a, can you imagine if we got that? This is fantasy land. right
Okay,
here.
yeah.
If we got that guy
Uh-huh.
and we got the number 1 overall draft pick.
Oh, what
It's
an
like,
offseason.
what
an offseason.
we just immediately, we just created a new window.
What's crazy is that that guy is better. Probably could be better than our number 1 overall draft pick.
Probably,
Is what's crazy.
but
Like,
you know what I mean. It's like you bring that guy in, and then you get the either you get Ethan Holiday or you get that college kid,
Right.
And now it's like, okay, you got 1 rookie elite in your pitching staff,
Yeah.
you got 1 rookie elite in your lineup, and this is the new window.
That's so crazy.
And then Guerrero becomes the veteran that you
yeah.
saw. You extend.
Oh, we gotta extend that guy
You
now.
know,
Clearly, for
you
sure.
extend him as like the veteran presence for the new wave. Like,
Man,
now we're all
Dude,
the way back.
If we built, if like Nick and I built this team, it would be so different, man. Like, I wouldn't be effing around on the table, with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Because like that's what I picture this team eventually getting to. When I first saw Vladdy getting up, I'm like, this is gonna be our guy. This is our Aaron Judge. This is our Jose Altuve at the time in 2019. Like, he was like that guy. Like, this is our dude. Let's make it happen. And it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, Battle Mode Brainbridge says, stop giving me hope.
yeah.
I apologize. Listen, I know, guys. I know. We walk ourselves all the way to the cliff, and eventually, we're gonna have to jump off of it when he inevitably doesn't come here and goes to LA, and we miss out on everybody. Listen, that's what it is to be a sports and a Blue Jays fan.
That's what it is.
We're just hoping, and one of these times, it's gonna
happen. Hey, it hasn't happened in like 2 or 3 years. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna pay off one of these times. We're gonna hit real big.
And
one of these times.
we will. We could hit next week.
Yeah.
We could. But this move right here that's upcoming, got to bring this up because I wasn't gonna, but I was like, you know what? A lot of people on Blue Jays Twitter are talking about it right now, and you know what? I think it's a good fit. We're talking about bullpen guys right now. This isn't the big move, but this could be the move that helps the team get a little bit better in that bullpen. You've got right now Pete Fairbanks and Jeffrey Springs drawing interest via the trade right now in the market, and we always knew, kind of looking at our prospect depth right now with our middle infielders, that it makes a lot of sense where these guys' value is kind of the same as like a guy with 2 years on a contract reliever, on a crummy team like the Rays right now. They're better than us, I shouldn't say that. But Pete Fairbanks was a guy that we brought up weeks and weeks ago, and now he's kind of being resurfaced that there could be some potential trade interest. When healthy, he's really good, and that's the big key. When healthy, he's very good. He only pitched 45 innings last year. He had a 357 ERA, a whip of 1.1. Wasn't his best work, but you can clearly see in the past he was very, very good. Again,
I've definitely seen this guy cook us a couple times for sure.
He was 100% cooked us, even back in 2022. Man, again, 24 innings, but when healthy, dominant. He had a 0.667 whip. Is this a guy, even though with some, injury history, with 2 years left, and I think he's got a player option as well for 2026, or a club option, excuse me, for $7 million. This is a guy that you want to take a shot at?
Oh, my God.
Oh, does he? Are you looking at the...
He cooks.
The split's disgusting.
In 21.1 innings, Pete Fairbanks has a 0.84 ERA against the Toronto Blue Jays, which so he's given up 2 earned runs in 21.1 innings.
What's he do at the Rogers Center?
Great question.
Let's see
if we can find that right here.
Probably really good, I assume.
Ballpark.
Oh, it's TD Ballpark. Where's go up a year. Go up. Ballpark right here. Oh, where the hell is it?
I don't know.
Is this in 2021?
No, this is his career.
Weird.
Oh, Rogers Center right there.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, he's only had 6.1 innings at the Rogers Center. It's 0 earned runs.
0 earned runs. So he'll be the best closer in Blue Jay history by a single season, according to this at the Rogers Center.
Listen, if you just sign him just so you don't have to play him anymore, and you don't have a
trade for him, you mean?
Trade for him, just so you don't have that shutout inning every time that you play the Tampa Bay Rays. Screw it, because clearly this guy cooks the Toronto Blue Jays.
And as much as I hate interdivisional trading, but a middle infield trade going over the Rays kind of makes a lot of sense. I can't actually tell you who their middle infield is right now.
Right.
I can't. I think of Yandy. They traded Isaac Paredes. Obviously, no Wander Franco anymore. But who the hell is in their infield? I can't tell you. So maybe they want to take a shot. I know they have a good outfield prospect. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Good outfield prospect coming up, but they don't have any infield prospects.
Yeah.
This feels like a trade. I'd be down for it.
100%.
Give it to me.
Yeah, exactly. Usually we don't talk about the interdivisional trades like that, but this isn't a franchise-altering move.
No.
And, Tampa Bay, they're kind of down horrendously right now. I do feel bad for them. I always hate Tampa Bay Rays, but you know what? When the roof of your ballpark gets ripped off, that's hard. That's hard going.
Dude, we're gonna be playing at I think it's Steinbrenner Field.
So isn't it the Yankee one?
The Yankees, they're doing a whole TD Ballpark, Salem Field kind of thing going on.
It sucks for them, but you know what? They might actually sell it out. Maybe we'll see.
I think they will.
It'll be close,
especially
right?
if the Yankees are in town. They're absolutely.
They'll sell it out if the Yankees are in town. Yeah, this might actually work out for the Tampa Bay Rays.
You know what? Yeah, maybe they'll go we'll just stay here. I guess.
Yeah.
We'll just sell the land. Whatever.
But yes, that would absolutely be a good target, I think, for Toronto if they could swing it with the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's talk a little bit about, you want to talk about Teo? You want to talk about, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, the rest of this kind of rumor stuff is things we've kind of already covered, and actually pretty recently, because we've talked about literally Teoscar Hernandez today. If you haven't checked out that podcast, do it already. But, if you missed it, we'll bring it up just real quickly right here. MLB Insider breaks down the Toronto Blue Jays' logical reunion with Teoscar Hernandez. If you're wondering who that MLB Insider is, it's Ken Rosenthal. He literally just came out with the whole Juan Soto thing earlier in this live stream, so he's very credible. But he does say that after Juan Soto, the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, that's their next target. If both of them don't get Juan Soto, it's going to be Teoscar Hernandez. And if the Dodgers don't end up getting Teoscar Hernandez, he's probably going to lose it to the Toronto Blue Jays, and we looked at we obviously don't even really need to look at the numbers. We know who Teoscar Hernandez is. I think it's, again, a move that's good, but we maybe need a little more. Just a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think that this fixes the Toronto Blue Jays' problems or anything like that. All that being said, though, I see somebody in the chat saying I would be stoked if he returns. Battle mode right there. And same with me, right? I would just be stoked. I'd be excited, Sometimes it's not all about just winning, because for me it's I want to enjoy watching my baseball team, and bringing Teoscar Hernandez back, a World Series champion now. I would thoroughly enjoy seeing this guy do it. I got a deep respect for him, and I love the camaraderie that he shares with Guerrero and with the rest of the team. The energy that he brings, that'd be awesome. And yes, there's more that would need to be done. The one thing that I will say about all of this, though, if the Toronto Blue Jays have any hope in bringing him back, Dodgers need to sleep. Dodgers need to fumble the bag. Dodgers need to look elsewhere, because, and I have no disrespect for him whatsoever in wanting to return to the LA Dodgers, the team that you just won a World Series with. We traded you away. Ultimately, we traded you away, and if they want to have you back, then I would go there if I was him. So we need them as the Toronto Blue Jays. If you're really serious about getting Teo back, we need them to fumble the bag.
We do. Like, they've already gone out and signed Blake Snell, and they went out and they got, Tommy Edman? Yeah, they signed Tommy Edman for $70 million. So it's like, I know there's infinite amount of money, but, hey, maybe they don't have enough to spare Teo an extra few mil. And
it's a thing, there is a reality where it doesn't happen. If I was the Dodgers, though, I wouldn't want to bring him back because he was pretty damn good in that fifth spot for me. But
so he batted third in the friggin' World Series at one point.
Was he batting third?
Or was it the NLCS? It was when he was really hot. It was when he was really hot.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It was the NLCS because Freeman was out.
Right,
so he got bumped up.
Right. No, that makes sense. That does make sense right there.
We did get a dono here from Isaac. Shout out to you, Isaac, saying,
"Thank you very much."
What about Devin Williams trade? And that's interesting too. They did a weird thing where he they canceled his contract, but then still kept him in arbitration. So maybe they're trying to still get rid of the contract. I don't know.
He's on the block or not on the block.
No, I haven't heard anything. But again, that Devin Williams trade, for 1 year of Devin Williams is going to cost you a lot of money, or not money. Well, maybe you send him over some cash, but it's going to cost you a lot of prospect capital. For me, I almost got to be sure that getting Devin Williams is great, but still, that doesn't fix a lot, and we're spending a lot of bullets for him. You know what I mean? And it's to get Devin Williams, I kind of need to get a lineup almost in place, and maybe a few more bullpen guys to feel good about spending on Devin Williams for 1 year of Devin Williams.
No, I get that. I think though that if you trade for Devin Williams, I would hope that you try to extend him. Maybe it's going to be difficult though, because if I'm somebody like Devin Williams, I know that I'm gonna command the market when I get there.
And what loyalty do I really have to the Toronto Blue Jays?
That's true.
You're a losing team. Whereas when we traded for people like Jose Barrios years before, we had so much promise.
Yeah.
We had so much promise. We had 91 wins, but we just missed out on the playoffs. That was exciting. There's nothing, unless we actually go on and win a lot, but
right.
I don't know. You got to do something a lot more.
And,
so
and
that's
also,
why it's risky.
Differently than Barrios and Devin Williams is Devin Williams, when he becomes a free agent, will command the closing market, and assuming that he doesn't break his arm or anything like that, he'll probably get over $100 million in free agency when he hits there. So whereas Jose Barrios, he might have got over $100 million, but he was never going to command the market as the starting pitching guy. He would have been a good starting pitcher. But Devin Williams could probably set the record for highest contract ever by a closer.
Until Emmanuel Clase gets
Emmanuel Clase, and then he'll reset it.
Then he'll reset it, right? Also, shout out to Ari Pie saying, "Let's go, boys." Shout out to you, Ari Pie.
Let's go.
Thank you to everybody who's been in here so far. We've still got 250 people in here, so
let's see if we can get up to 169 likes, everybody. If you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button. It does mean so much to us, to this channel. This is our full-time jobs, bringing you guys content and just talking Toronto Blue Jays, talking baseball with you guys. So it really does mean so much if you guys hit the subscribe button. I've been spending hours today trying to book a vacation to Europe with my girlfriend. It's a lot of money. And subscribing
a lot of money.
Helps that.
Did you book it?
We've been I kid you not, we spent hours looking at various different things, going back and forth on different deals, for Travel Tuesday and shit like that. We're very, very close, but we haven't quite done it quite yet.
I was looking at Punta Cana, and my God, it's so tempting. It's literally half off, and there's they'll get you in a couple areas with flight seating and all that kind of crap, but I was so close to hitting the smash button. It is literally. I went to Mexico this past year. It's half of that. I'm oh my God, you're kidding me. It was amazing. But go check it out.
Yeah, I found a deal where it was flights and hotel included. This would be 5 nights in Rome for about $800 a person.
Wow. That's so nice. And the hotel, you said? Yeah.
Hotel and flights.
Wow.
For $800 a person for 5 nights in Rome.
Mine wasn't nearly that cheap, but it's Punta Cana, $1,100 at a 5-star hotel, all inclusive, all food for 7 days.
Right.
I was wow, that's pretty good. Also, thank you to Josh for becoming a starter member, guys. W's in the chat for Scott. Welcome to the community.
Let's go.
All right, guys. Let's. I think we should move on to the probably the question.
Yeah, let's take
go
a
into the
couple questions from the chat. We asked you guys to submit some questions into the mailbag, so if you have done so in the period of this podcast, then that's great. We might even get to it. But first things first, let's get to one from Jays Fan 44, Lucas and Brady saying, give a percent chance that the Jays get Soto.
It's funny because we got this question 3 times today from 3 different people. Again, it was worded differently every single time. So I think the wording came here from Jays Fan 44, but they were all asking, give us a percentage. What's the chance? Give us a percentage of what we get Juan Soto. So where are you at right now? What's the percent?
Yeah, I actually saw somebody in the chat being like, I just saw something on Twitter saying that Jays have a 30% chance, and they're second behind the Mets. I'm not sure where you saw that from. I hope that it's a reputable source because 30% would be certainly greater than what I would be giving the Toronto Blue Jays right now. A percent to get Soto. Well, let's do the math here. I think that more times than not, he is going to end up with the New York Mets. I will say that the New York Mets have a 35% chance of luck. You know what? I'll even go up to 40. I think that they got a 40% chance of locking up Soto. I think that the Yankees are still there. I know people are giving some slack, but I'll give the Yankees 20%. I'll give the Red Sox 20% as well.
So you got 20.
So now I got 20% left.
Yep.
I'm gonna give 10% to the Toronto Blue Jays, and then 10% to other. And just, create that as how you will.
Okay, I'm going to go a little more skewered. I think I'm going to give a lot more to the Mets. I think I'm going to go I'm going to go 50, like a solid 50 for the Mets. I think I like the Boston Red Sox a lot more. I'm going to go a solid 20. So it's 70 left. I'm going to take away some from the Yankees. I'm going to go 15. I think they're not looking too good based on everything we're hearing. So I'm going to go 15. So where does that put me right now? That puts me at 15 left?
15% left.
Okay. This kind of works out then because I'll go 5 for the Dodgers, 5 for the Blue Jays, and 5 for other. That's what I'll do. And I saw a lot of 5s now. Like, that feels right. Like, and I hate it because I think the media's language around how they're describing the Blue Jays, they're just like, well, they're the highest bidding team, and Juan Soto go the highest offer, but he's not going to do that. Is that just their opinion, or is that what they're hearing?
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe of it, but if I were to make a percentage, that's what it would be for me.
All right, so you're at 1-20. I'm at 1-10. Maybe the accurate number then is somewhere in the 1-15 range there, everybody.
Okay, there you go.
1-15 chance the Toronto Blue Jays get Juan Soto. That is what I am going to finish with. You guys let us know in the chat right there. We got, multiple people going in there.
Yeah, what were some other percentages that are going on there?
37% is what Miami said from the Mets, though. 20% says Ron. 10% says Daniela. Got 25%, 5%, 5%, 1%, 5%, 10%, 50%. Yeah.
Okay, we're all over the place.
In the same range right here, where it is, it is a long shot. There is a shot, but it is certainly a long shot. And JK saying we just got to wait till he gets on a plane. And then it's going to skyrocket up.
I remember on the plane for the Soto stream, I literally said, I'm like 98% sure. I was all the way there. I was I'm 98, I'm 98.
The second that we had heard everything, I was like, okay, it is.
It's happening.
It's happening. I thought it was for sure, and then
I hate it so much.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was legitimately the worst. It was one of the worst days of my life. It was horrible.
Best and worst at the same time. We got another odds question here. Let's do some more odds, everybody. This one comes in from Carter Chapman. They're asking, what are the odds that the Jays don't extend Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and he leaves in free agency next offseason?
I think it's pretty high.
So leaves as in goes signs with another team? Is that what we're interpreting this as?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, so what are the odds that Jays don't extend Vlad and he leaves the Toronto Blue Jays next year?
I think it's definitely higher than people would imagine. There's still a chance that they extend him this offseason, although I do think that that's very unlikely. I don't see that necessarily happening, and I also would find it very strange if they extended him in this season. I think you'd need a lot of things to work out in a certain fashion for that to happen. He'd be needing to perform at a certain level, and the team would be it would just be a strange thing. So
right.
I think there's a very good chance that he hits free agency at this point. I think that when he hits free agency, we still have a relatively good shot. Granted, there's a lot of time between now and then. God only knows what the conversation will be then. But as of today, I think we still have a relatively good shot to re-sign him once he hits free agency.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. I'm going to say that there is a 50% chance, actually.
Dude, that's exactly what I was going to say. I literally think it's 50-50 at this point that Vladdy will not be a Blue Jay beyond 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like... It's tough to admit that.
I know.
It's just like every conversation that's being had right now is talking about how it's starting to get it's
further
looking
and further away.
Yeah, and it's just like the second that you hit free agency, I mean, yeah, he can definitely come back, but now you are competing at that point with the Yankees, and you are competing with everyone.
Because I'll give a percentage of do I think Vladdy will hit free agency? I'm up there in like the 80 to 85%
I think it's
range.
I do think that's
like I really think it's likely he's going to hit free agency at this point, but I'm still holding on hope that an Aaron Judge situation happens. His market value is going to be set. The Blue Jays will. Because inevitably we're gonna miss on if we miss on Shohei Ohtani and then you miss on Juan Soto, you better effing have the money to not miss on Vladdy.
You can't miss on Vladdy.
You can't miss on Vladdy, so you better give him what he wants. And he goes, okay, great, that's what I wanted all the time. Yeah. I'm back in Toronto.
Yeah,
and I hope, and that's why I'm still 50-50 on that. Right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I genuinely do think he's going to hit free agency as well with everything that's coming out. We're hearing. Again, I'm going to have a video breaking down exactly that scenario tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, everybody. But it's one of those things when you do hit free agency, we never know. We don't know what the complexity is going to be next. We don't know who the players are. Is Steve Cohen and the Mets, like if they don't have Pete Alonso, and maybe, who knows, maybe they miss out on Juan Soto, right? They miss out on Juan Soto. He goes back to the Yankees, and now they don't have Pete Alonso anymore, and now Steve Cohen and the Mets are ready to go insane mode for Soto. Like, at that point, it's like, oh, Jesus. Like,
yep.
You know, it starts to go for it. It becomes very, very difficult to, to play it out in your brain. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be tough.
It will be tough. We do have another question here from Liam. They're asking if the Jays don't sign a starting pitcher arm this offseason, who would you rather have as a long relief instead of the 5 starters, Yariel Rodriguez or Alek Manoah? Okay.
Oh, okay. So who do you want as the long relief guy, Yariel Rodriguez or Alek Manoah?
Yeah, that's basically the question. Who would you rather have? And my brain would obviously go Yariel Rodriguez, because that guy has experience being a bullpen guy. We've never seen Alek Manoah come out of the bullpen. So for me, it's pretty obvious. It's Yariel Rodriguez.
It's got to be Yariel Rodriguez to start. I could certainly see reality where when Alek Manoah comes back, that could be a play for him, depending on, again, depending on a lot of different things. Manoah's just such a question mark right now. Like, the guy literally threw for the first time casually, yesterday.
Yeah.
Since getting his surgery. So, at this point, whether he actually really throws a baseball competitively in 2025, I think is the better question. Is he going to be in MLB in 2025? God only knows. So yeah, for now it's got to be Yariel Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the future of Alek Manoah holds. I hope that it's good. But that really is a wait and see type thing.
Yeah, like it really goes to show, how much of an impact Tommy John can have on your statistics. Like, you literally haven't. He hadn't picked up in baseball in 86 or 186 days.
Yeah,
like he hadn't thrown a baseball in 186 days.
That's a lot of time off. That's just like time off where you're injured, but that's time off where you're not practicing, you're not working, you're not honing your craft.
Yeah, like you're not doing the game of baseball. Like as we saw, he was in the gym a crap load, like rehabbing and getting all conditioned, but he wasn't throwing the pitch, which is what you're getting paid for. You're not getting paid to be in your best shape. You're getting paid to execute a pitch.
That's the thing.
On the other part,
now that we are semi-addicted golfers, think about not picking up a golf club or doing anything at all.
That's what I keep telling the boys.
Half a year.
like side note, guys, we're trying to convince the boys to go to the simulator. It's the off season now here in Canada. It's all cold. All the courses are shut down, but we got to go to the sim. How are we going to be better than bogey golfers if we don't go to the sim?
That's the thing. You know, like if we go a whole 168 days without picking up a club, I'm all the way back to the shit asshole I was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I don't want to be that guy again.
I don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy.
No. I work too hard to not be that guy.
That's the thing, you know. Like now, if I had Tommy John, well, I got to be out.
Yeah,
but I don't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I agree. I agree. Let's go to the next question here, everybody. We got one in here from Cade saying, who do you think the top 5 people in the lineup would be if we don't sign anyone? That's an interesting one because I haven't even thought about that yet.
So I'm assuming you mean top 5 is in like 1 through 5
yeah,
right
1 through
there.
5.
Well, okay. Pretty simply, Guerrero's certainly going to be locked in there. I would imagine like they're not going to drop Boba lower than that if he's fully healthy and ready, good to go. So Boba will be there. If you don't re-sign anybody, they're probably still playing George Springer up there.
Yeah, George Springer will still be up there. Yeah, to start the year at least.
Dalton Varsho is probably up there somewhere.
If he's healthy, yeah. If he's healthy.
Yeah.
And Kirk.
Well, maybe Horwitz.
True, Horwitz. Forgot about that guy.
I think Horwitz could.
Yeah,
that was number 5 for me. Probably. I think
Okay.
it would probably be somewhere. I don't know the order. I don't know how you do this, but I would say Springer, Bichette, Guerrero,
right.
Varsho, Horwitz.
I'd probably do. I could even see Horwitz being flipped with Varsho, maybe, but they might like the lefty in the 4.
Yeah.
I hate this thinking so. But yeah, that would be the top 5.
That'd
and
be pretty.
That would
trash.
That would be trash. Like that would legitimately be so ass.
Yeah.
And I would just be having zero.
Like a couple of years ago, that I would have been like, oh yeah. But now it's like Springer, God only knows. Bichette, God only knows. Guerrero, good.
Solid.
Varsho, we do know, and it's not good.
Terrible.
And Horwitz, we hope.
Yeah, like Horwitz on a great team is like a solid 6'7" guy. A very solid 6, actually a great 6'7" guy.
Yeah, you know what? You're happy to have that guy out there getting his occasional base knock and providing value.
Yeah, not where we really need him to be. No offense, but
look, if we don't get anyone at all, it's gonna be some medley of those guys.
And Kirk could probably
maybe Kirk's
be
in
the
there.
mix.
Yeah, like you're gonna have him slot in occasionally when somebody needs a rest day or whatever. It won't be good. Let's put it that way. It won't be good.
Hey, I got a fun question here. I'm just pasting into the graphic, but I think you'll love this one. We were just talking about golf. This one's coming in. I think their name is Chase. I want to say their name is Chase. But Chase is asking, which Blue Jay would you like to have a few beers with and play 18 holes? Happy holidays.
Wow, what a great question.
What a phenomenal question,
I fucking love that question so much.
We need more questions like this guy. No offense to all the other guys. Like, I love all your guys' questions, but like these are fun. You know?
This is what we've been missing here in the mailbag. Which Blue Jay do I want to drink with and play golf with? What a good one right there.
Okay, why don't we pick 2 different ones just to give some variety to it?
All right, go ahead. You pick who you want to play golf with.
Who would I want to play golf with? And I'm going through the entire everything. No one in the bullpen. You got rid of Jordan Romano. That's like the one guy on my list. I probably would accept it from that bullpen, but that's out the window now. Gosman would be great, actually. Gosman would be
fine. Like microdosing for sure.
Oh yeah, like he would be feeling the nature. I'd be loving that. Okay, Gosman. I'm gonna make a short list here. So Gosman's on my short list. I'm probably gonna go with honestly George. I think George is a great guy. He's a very talkative, fun guy, great energy. I think he'd be great to go golf with. Ernie, too. Ernie'd be great to go golfing with. He's pretty fun. He actually goes golfing, so that's a thing. I think I'm going to narrow it down. That's my top 3, unless I'm missing somebody. I'm going to say George Springer. I'm actually going to say George Springer. I would love to go golfing with George Springer. I think he's just a great personality and would be fun.
Yeah.
And would probably down some beers.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's fair. I think this is kind of, I don't want to say it's a cop-out, but like my favorite player is Alejandro Kirk. And I do think it would be great to go golfing with Alejandro Kirk. There would be a little bit of a language barrier.
There would be a language barrier, yeah.
But, I don't think that would matter. And maybe I'm selling him short, but I just don't think Kirk's going to be a great golfer.
I can't see him being a great
And I
golfer,
think it would be hilarious. I really, really do.
He's gonna be guzzling the beers.
He's gonna be guzzling the beers. He'll be in the cart having a great time. I think it would just be a lot of fun. I would get so much enjoyment out of being part of that.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
It'd be so great.
I hear that. That's the thing. I was going for like vibes. Who's got a lot of vibes.
Yeah.
So those are our guys. Those are our guys right there.
Let's take one more question, and then we will we'll call the live stream tonight. If you guys enjoyed this kind of free agency update, rumor mill video, answering your questions as well as talking about the latest news, let us know in the comments, guys, or let us know in the chat. We are more than happy to do this a bunch more as the free agency continues. I would potentially talking about doing another one later this week. So if you guys enjoyed it, then hit that like button, let us know in the chat, and we will definitely make it a priority to do this more often. All
right. We got one more in here, guys. It is coming from Brady. Actually, Brady sent in 10 questions, so shout out to Brady. Respect, man. That's if you guys have 10 questions, send them all, man. We don't care. Brady's saying, do you think management, this is all kind of ending on a sad note, but do you think management screwed up by getting rid of our raw talent in Gurriel Jr., Hernandez, and Moreno? Nick?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
I mean, they definitely did. I feel like we've exhausted this conversation topic so many different times. But that was an L, right? We were talking earlier in the stream about the rare wins that Ross Atkins used to have. And he had some. And then those trades happened, and that was the turning point, and it's just been L's ever since. It really, really has been.
And you know what? It could have gone over really great. Again, I still think we'll see what happens this year with Eric Swanson. That trade for Hernandez could be good if you got a replacement for him, but you didn't. The Moreno and Gurriel trade, that one was going to be very tough. You literally needed Varsho to hit 35 home runs.
That's
and
thing,
bat
right?
250. You needed that to happen.
We're looking at that trade poorly, and this is a guy that's in there that is winning Gold Gloves. That goes to show we got to do more with the bat.
We do, right? Clearly we lost. You could see right there's a lot of negative bat action happening in losing those guys. We didn't do enough to replace the bats. It was simple as that, and that's why they better go and replace it this offseason, or else you're never going to learn from your mistakes, and you're never going to fix the past. So we'll see what happens. Also, I did see a thing in there from Lord Z saying, I've got a question. When is Nick going to get his own mic arm? We actually do have a mic arm. But
we do. We do have one.
You prefer it, don't you?
I mean, I'll be honest. Now that we're doing a stream that's over an hour, it is starting to get a bit much.
Good.
So maybe for longer streams like this, I'll consider it. But honestly, what we really just need is a new computer so we can use the lav mics again.
Yeah, that's the problem. Behind the scenes, everybody, there's been so many tech issues right now. My laptop was never meant to stream off of, ever. It was meant to do casual video editing, here and there. But now it is, getting worked to crap, and, my computer is shot. It's, it was over 5 years old. It did a good job. It ran this channel for a while, but we desperately need you guys to hit that subscribe button and tell your friends about Blue Jays Today, because we, and be like Jennifer right here, who just subscribed and became an elite member. That's what we need. That will help with the new computer.
Shout out and thank you to Jennifer, and shout out and thank you to everybody who has tuned in to this live stream, guys. We did make it to that magical 150 like mark. If you can hit the like on the way, get up to 169, that would be great. But let us know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this live stream. We'll plan out some more as the free agency news develops and as more rumors emerge.
Guys, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. $3 a month to become a Patreon member, and $5 a month to become a YouTube member, just like Jennifer right there. Shout out, thank you to all of our YouTube members. You guys are absolutely awesome.
I love this one here from Lloyd saying, drinking stream after winter meetings.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%.
Bring it, you know what I mean?
Ooh, actually,
everything.
I was thinking about this, and I wanted to get this weekend. A champagne bottle to pop for a signing, because if it happens, we're not going to have time to go get a champagne bottle. But have one on standby for whatever it might be.
That's
a big
true.
signing. Over 100 million.
Yeah, we do need that one. We do need that one. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you next time. And as always,
go Jays, go!